Hello Taurus, and welcome to your November 2019 Creativity Tarot reading. My name is Kayleigh Jean, and welcome to my channel. As I was tuning into your energy for the month of November, I was given this impression of something kind of big that's coming through. And I'd be really curious to hear from you if you have something to say as you go through the month of November. But essentially what was coming through was, first of all, this feeling of powerful romantic energy or powerful idealistic energy. I was being given this impression that for some reason there's either a partner coming into your life this month, or if you're already partnered, Taurus, you could have just a really powerful experience of love with another person, or perhaps like a grand gesture coming from another person in your life. I don't know why I want to say this, but I'm feeling like there's some kind of big romantic gesture that could be coming in for many of you. Now, if you're used to my channel and you listen to my videos, you know that these readings typically don't focus a lot on romantic relationships, and it's totally possible as well that if you are a business owner, for example, you could have somebody, maybe a colleague or a professional acquaintance or even a business partner, who does some kind of grand gesture in your favor, or who makes some kind of symbolic action, takes some kind of symbolic action that really celebrates either the professional relationship that you have, or that kind of shows you that they appreciate the work that you do in some way, shape, or form. So this feels overwhelmingly positive. I don't see why it would cause any issues, for any of you, but I feel like this overall, this sense of really like allowing yourself to receive the appreciation of others around you. And I feel also like there could be a great deal of movement and expansion in your personal life, specifically like in your personal life this month. So for many of you, this gesture that could be coming through from someone else may be somebody in your personal life. But I also feel like work is going to pick up for those of you who have been doing something. Maybe if you're new to like a certain industry, or if your business has slowed down in the last few months, or anything like that. I feel like business and sort of like your money and income in your professional life and the things that you do sort of in a professional setting are going to increase this month as well. So my message overall for you, Taurus, is really just to kind of go with the flow of this energy. I don't really see you needing to sort of be at the forefront or kind of making any like huge major life impacting decisions this month, although for some of you, of course, that can be the case. We do see largely with this energy that's coming through, it feels more like what you're doing this month is kind of keeping up with the pace of things that are already sort of set in motion, or things that are already kind of happening around you, that you're kind of just seeing, okay, how can I like fit into this flow, because you know that it is the right thing for you, you know that you're on the right track, and it may just be that things are picking up speed a little bit and you have to kind of adapt and evolve to that. But overall, I do feel like it's something that you're wanting as well, especially with the business stuff and the personal life stuff. I do feel like this is all really good. It's just going to be interesting to see what comes up in your spread, because there's so much going on for you. I mean, you do have your full moon this month as well, which I actually really like your full moon because it has positive aspects. Your moon is going to be trining Saturn and Pluto, and then the sun, which is like opposing you. Obviously, every full moon is an opposition between the sun and the moon. The sun's going to be actually trining Neptune over between Scorpio and Pisces. So it's just it can be a very magical time, and that's coming up on November 12th. So there may be some sense or some inkling of that gesture that may be being made by someone else around you at that time. And it could be maybe like a surprise, or it could be something big or small, but overall I really do feel this coming in as something positive and something that's coming from a place of appreciation of everything that you do, Taurus. If you're a busy mom, you could have like your family getting together to do something nice for you, or if you're a busy like business owner, you could have, like I said before, a business partner or an acquaintance or someone like that giving you a shout out or throwing you a little party or something along those lines, you know. And keep an open mind with this symbolism, because this does feel like a very specific message, but I feel like it's going to manifest in a lot of different ways for individuals. So let's go ahead and take a look at your cards. Taurus, clear living guidance for Taurus. Ooh, okay, interesting. So I was just seeing a chimney and like a fireplace. So that feels like a very symbolic message of the hearth and kind of the central place of a home. It's sort of the heart of the home, essentially, just the fireplace image that I was just given. So there could be something, again, something kind of nourishing happening in your family life or in your home, even maybe purchasing a home or decorating a home, renovating a home, finishing a renovation, something like that. Let's take a look. Pay attention to these creatures and their likeness. So we have the bat. Crossing is the frog. So this is really powerful, especially because we have this big full moon in the bat card. So just right off the bat, the bat card is telling us that this full moon in your sign this month is highly significant for you, Taurus. And it does represent what I feel is kind of like a shedding, first of all, a shedding of anything that has held you back from trusting your deeper senses. That's kind of what I'm getting from this, because bats are very sensitive creatures. They're blind, but they have such an incredibly highly developed sense of hearing that as a being, as a creature, they have this almost preternatural kind of sensitivity to sound, and they're able to use it to navigate. So some of you could be experiencing becoming more clairaudient, which is the clear sense of being able to hear things intuitively. So you may get kind of messages coming through that you're sort of hearing, or sometimes you might have like thoughts coming into your mind that are very unusual or different from your normal stream of consciousness thinking, and you may feel good when you have those kind of different thoughts coming in, and you may almost kind of be wondering like, oh, am I tapping into a higher vibration of myself? Like, is that my higher self that I'm sort of metaphorically hearing right now? So there's definitely a sense of an increase in your overall sensitivity to, I would say, psychic energy with this card. I would also say specifically with clairaudience, maybe developing that sense if that's something that you've been working on. But overall, I feel as well with the bat card, we get this image of kind of like a bat flying out of a cave. And that to me speaks of exposure and something, bringing something from the shadows into the light, bringing something out. And we have such a powerful energy of Mercury in Scorpio the entire month of November. It's going to be retrograding, not the entire month, but the whole month it will be in Scorpio, and most of the month it's going to be retrograding, and it won't make any hard aspects with any of the outer planets or anything like that. So it's going to be a very deep, introspective time with Mercury retrograde in Scorpio throughout the month of November. And for you, Taurus, it feels like the way that you can really utilize this energy is by recognizing and getting in touch with what you sense about your life, and maybe even kind of looking to your intuition and maybe even your unconscious mind as a source for your creativity this month, and as a wellspring from which you can draw a lot of inspiration. So some of you, I feel, could be working on like a screenplay or a manuscript or a novel, or drawing on inspiration if you're an actor or a musician, just really pulling in inspiration from like a very deep place within yourself, and really feeling like the energies that you're tuning into are incredibly profound and deep, and maybe even collecting, tapping into like sort of the collective unconscious as well. So that type of art that is sort of formed from that place of deep, internal psychic energy, typically is what strikes a chord with, massive numbers of people, because you're tapping into the archetypes, you're tapping into the inner kind of hidden backstage plan of the psyche, and you're drawing, when you draw from that, you're drawing from themes that are very, first of all, very authentic and personal, but at the same time, in a paradoxical but absolutely honest way, they are also very impersonal, and everybody can relate to it in some way, shape, or form by kind of linking into the symbolism and projecting their own personal experience onto it. So that's how you get these, masterpieces of art coming out of these people, is that they're able to tune in to like a level of consciousness that we all kind of collectively share in some way, shape, or form. And that's why we can read someone's book and feel like they're writing about us, even though everybody who reads it feels that way. And that could be a really powerful, creative, wellspring for you to draw from this month, Taurus. So if you're a creative Taurus, I feel like November is going to be an insanely productive time for you. If you're working on anything that is sort of creative, inspirational, anything that has like an element of story to it, or an element of tonation and expression, I feel is going to be insanely just productive this month. So it's exciting. Now, the energy that is influencing you is the frog. The frog is really about kind of needing to release toxic energies from your environment and needing to sort of cleanse yourself. Frogs are amphibious as well, so they're able to kind of exist in multiple environments, and I feel like this is another really good sort of metaphor for the scorpionic energy for the majority of November, and the way that you could be experiencing this, especially around that full moon in your sign, is that you may end up feeling like you need to release some things from your environment, maybe some attachments to people. It could also just be maybe doing a cleanse on your home, doing a deep decluttering, all of these things that have to do with kind of working with your like sensitivity to things in your environment. Again, we're seeing that theme of sensitivity with both of these creatures. So be prepared, Taurus. This is going to be a month in which your senses are very acute, but at the same time, the good thing about that is that you can really experience powerful highs. You can experience powerful, inspired, creative highs when you are very much, tuned in, turned on in terms of your sensitivity. But it can also mean that you could go the other direction and go a little low if you feel like there's some toxic energies around you, whether that's coming from people or clutter or just anything that you need to take care of that you haven't been taking care of. That's definitely going to come to the forefront this month. So it's a powerful time. Let's go ahead and take a look at your Celtic cards. So this is the Druidcraft deck, and we have the Ace of Wands, the Ten of Cups, the High Priest, the Five of Swords with the Ace of Swords, there we go, Five of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, and the Lovers. And there's that romantic gesture coming through at the end of the month. Interesting. So there's a lot going on in this spread. First of all, your card, Taurus, is coming up in this reading, the High Priest, which is associated with Taurus, and you can see the bull horns here representing you. We also see it's interesting because this is the sun above him, but it's like it could just as easily be a moon, right, if this was a nighttime scene. So really powerful that that is coming through in the middle of the month, which is right around the time that that full moon is happening in your sign. So this is very significant stuff. This is a very powerful month for you, where I feel like part of it, just like I was saying before, with the Five of Swords next to this High Priest, it is about setting boundaries at that full moon, which is really fascinating, to have had that message coming through with the frog about releasing toxic energies from your life. And you probably know what that is. If it's relevant for you, Taurus, you probably know something that you've needed to change, or maybe even objects that you've needed to get rid of for a while, or, you know, any number of things like that. I see this being a really powerful time for you to kind of make a break between how you sort of handled these things in the past and how you're going to handle them moving forward. So this full moon in your sign is a page turner moon. Let's say it's your half year mark, and it's really saying, you know, that you can use that full moon in your sign to sort of turn the page and go into a new chapter, especially with this Five of Swords here showing, you know, somebody kind of walking away in the background, and then here you are kind of standing your ground quite firmly. And some of you very sensitive Taurians, if you have like maybe some other water sign placements, or if you just are very empathetic, you may have a little bit of a hard time doing that, because sometimes when we see the Five of Swords coming up in a reading, you know, that talks about having to set boundaries, it's not always the easiest thing for a very compassionate person to do. But I feel like one thing that you can be certain of, Taurus, is that it is the right thing to do, not only for you, but for the other person as well. And I feel like you're going to have that sense of being really connected to like what's right for you with the High Priest showing up. That's your card, and it's just showing that you're very rooted and grounded in yourself, which is going to give you the strength to kind of set those boundaries and clean up the energy of whatever environment that is, whether it's a work situation or a family situation, or maybe even something that you have to get off your chest in terms of like a friendship. Maybe that can always be a factor too. It could be with a partner as well, because, you know, we have the Sun in Scorpio, which is, you know, your 7th house. So it could be airing grievances within a partnership of any kind, not just a romantic partnership, but a business partnership as well. And just saying like, look, this is what is going on for me. This is what I need. And just be willing to stick to that. Be willing to be firm, listen, hear everybody out. But I feel that ultimately, you know, like where your strength lies and what needs to happen. And so you have to commit to that vision, Taurus. So we kind of are jumping around in this reading a little bit because I really wanted to just dive right into these energies, which are around the middle of the month. Let's take a look at sort of like the overall energies of the month and the beginning of the month, which are coming through as the Ace of Wands and the Ten of Cups. So I love to see this. I feel like for those of you who are wanting to like bring in some kind of new creation into your life, or if you're wanting to like the image that I'm getting honestly is like a creative person, maybe an author that has a whole little shelf of books that they've published, and now it's like in November they want to add another book to that shelf. So it's like either the beginning of a part of that process or like the actual beginning of that process. But it's like, here's all of the things that I've done. Here's all the 10 cups on the 10 of Cups, right? And I'm ready to bring in something new. And there's an excitement to that. There's a sense of passion with this because you know that you're skilled enough because you've done some things in the past, you've gotten some things taken care of previously, and that's giving you the excitement and the self-belief that you can take your work in even a more expansive direction or even a more exciting direction. For others of you, if you are literally trying to add to your physical family, I could see that there's definitely an image of conception with these cards. So keep in mind, if you're wanting to embrace the idea of like physical fertility or perhaps even adoption, I definitely see the potential for those of you out there who have that specific concern or that specific desire and you're listening to this. I feel like this energy of November is actually a very fertile time for you. So whether you are literally trying to grow your like physical human family, or you're trying to grow the family of things that you've created, or maybe your business family, like you want to grow your business family, whatever it is, I see that you are walking on fertile ground, Taurus. You are walking on ground that will sprout beneath your feet. You can plant seeds now, and yes, we do have Mercury in retrograde in Scorpio, so maybe these seeds are not going to immediately show the growth like right away, but that fertility, make no mistake, it is there. The ability for your seeds to sprout is absolutely 100% here, present in these cards. So don't be discouraged at all if you feel like you're really excited in the beginning of the month and you start planting some seeds and you get things off to a really great start, and then you're like anxious to see the results. You're gonna get them. It's just a matter of time and continuing to be committed, which is something that every Taurus naturally understands how to do. So you are that fixed earth sign, so you're definitely, you can commit to the cycles of growth that you deem worthy of your commitments. So I want to take a look at the third week of November. So we do see the Ace of Swords with the Five of Wands, and this is sort of echoing some of the energy you recall that we saw with the Five of Swords. The Five of Wands to me in this image is showing this kind of potentially distracting energy. It feels like there's like a swirling aspect to this Five of Wands in this image, where these kids are all sort of looking to lock in their wands. They're all fighting with each other, but you can almost get the inkling of a pentacle there. You can almost kind of see that it's starting to take shape almost accidentally by the fact that these five people, are all kind of working at cross purposes, but they don't realize that they're sort of creating this new pattern or this new kind of routine or this new structure. They're not trying to do that, but they're naturally kind of almost forming it, and then maybe it will dissipate and then it's almost going to form again. So it's giving me this like very visceral impression of your life energy at that time, Taurus, in the third week of November, where you may feel a little bit like there's energy that's swirling around you, like there's a lot of distractions. You could feel like you just need some peace and quiet to yourself. And I don't know if that's because you're having family visiting, or you are just having a lot of responsibilities or dealing with a lot of a certain type of person in your life at that time. Like maybe you have multiple inquiries coming from people that are of a similar kind of flavor, but like they're all at cross purposes with each other. But ultimately, I feel like this is going to be a really good time to meditate, and it's going to be a really good time to sort of pull back from those distractions and really set some clear boundaries for yourself about how you're going to spend your time. Because the Ace of Swords is showing that you can absolutely rise up from that situation. You don't have to be clouded by the Five of Wands. And in fact, maybe this is almost kind of able to give us that image of the lotus, rising out of the mud, and that sense of a spiritual depth or a internal serenity, an internal sense of serenity and peace can actually be arrived at in the midst of, and not even just in spite of, but actually because of stressful situations that we may be going through or distracting energies around us. But this is going to take intention for you to create this energy for yourself of inner calm, peace, and quiet. And I feel like it's going to really help to, in that third week of November, have some meditation time planned for yourself, or maybe get some like recorded meditations that you like, and schedule maybe every day for that week of November where your you time is going to involve you putting headphones in, going and sitting in a room, turning the lights down, lighting a candle, and just popping your headphones in and just listening to a guided meditation. And it could be 10 minutes, it could be 15 minutes, it could be 5 minutes, but just having something to sort of create that ambiance for yourself where you can, like it feels so good, reach right up out of that water, reach up out of that kind of perspective and get some of that sense of clear solitude. And that will bring in a sense of solidarity with yourself. It will bring in a sense of having control, even when you do have a lot going on. And remember, like I was saying too in the meditation, it does feel like your work is going to be picking up. So if you're a business owner, Taurus, this season is probably going to be very active for you, and you're going to also have all of your other responsibilities that you normally have. So if you're a family person, Taurus, if you are a homemaker or a school teacher, or just any number of ways that you express, your gifts and your service to the world, there's going to be a lot of opportunity for you to be of service, and this is going to be a good thing for you. I feel like it's going to bring in more opportunities, and it's going to open doors for you, but at the same time, you also have to make sure to tend to your inner state. And I feel like that's really what we see on the Ace of Swords. The last week of November, we have the Lovers and the Ten of Pentacles. So this is again coming through as like that very romantic energy that I was picking up on. When you get the Ten of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, and the Lovers card all in one reading, you know that regardless of whether or not my readings are usually creativity related, this is definitely a very sensual, romantic, emotional, and intimate energy that we see in these cards. So I would say expect good things. Be ready to have some positive experiences with people that you care about, whether or not it's romantic. It may not be strictly romantic, but it could just be like any kind of relationship in your life. Relationships as well in business, sometimes with the Ten of Pentacles, or it can be relationships with family. It feels like there's just a lot, like you're abundant this month, Taurus. You have everything. You have things going on and moving and momentum building in your career. You've got new doors opening in that arena. You've got more and more sensitivity and creativity and more inspiration for what you want to do moving forward. Your vision is getting bigger. And at the same time, your personal life is expanding, and people maybe want to spend more time with you. People maybe want, with the Ten of Cups and the Ace of Wands, maybe you have, plans for your personal life and for those close to you that you really want to engage with and to prioritize. And it may not even be family, it could be friends, but there's just a sense of like more coming in all those areas of life. And I think the only danger here this month for you, or the only thing to look out for and to make sure that you're, staying cognizant of, is really boundaries. It's really just boundaries and making sure that you have time for yourself, because everything else in your life is expanding. Everything else in your life is getting bigger. So that's what I'm seeing for you, Taurus. I hope that's helpful. But overall, you're definitely going to feel very sensitive to subtle energies. You're going to probably need a little bit more alone time than you're expecting. So make sure to pencil that in to your schedule any way that you can. Wow. And what did we get? We got love. Just jumping, flying right out of the deck. This is the Soul Trees Oracle, and I wanted to get you a an overall kind of oracle message card, and you got love. So what the heck, Taurus? Write to me below. Tell me, what is this love that's coming in? Tell me, what is this? Because this is gorgeous. This is real love. This is beautiful love. And this is maybe, you know, love on more levels than just, you know, romantic or sensual or sexual. It's a feeling of fullness, you know, in the heart. There's like a feeling of being with your tribe, being with your people, being with, being surrounded by the energies that you've been calling for, attracting to you the love that you have been showing yourself. Because that's always how it happens. It always happens first that you embrace yourself and honor yourself, and that's when your relationships become so much more deep and empowering and full, because you're loving yourself. So that's the message for you, Taurus, overall, is make sure that you are loving yourself this month. Make sure you are taking that time for yourself and setting some boundaries where you need to. But overall, I think you're sitting pretty this month. I feel like there's some really beautiful emotional experiences coming up and more intimacy if that's what you want and if that's what you're ready for, Taurus. And I also feel like for many of you, there's an extension of your creative self, whether that means a new book project that you're doing or starting a new business or just gaining a lot of momentum in your existing business. Or literally you could be adopting, you know, a child or getting pregnant or maybe getting a new puppy or a new kitten or something. But there's like a sense, definitely a sense of expansion of the beings around you that you care about. And that's coupled, so you have to be careful because that's coupled at the same time as your business is getting more, your business and your professional life is getting more active. So you're going to be doing more in both sectors. So just make sure that you're doing everything you can to take care of yourself. I hope that this reading is helpful to you at this time, Taurus. I'm sending you so much love. Please let me know what you thought about this reading. Leaving comments, maybe even just leaving me like a little thumbs up emoji if you're shy and you don't want to tell me like everything you thought about the reading. But leave me a little emoji below, either like a prayer hands or a thumbs up or something like that, to let me know that you're here and that you made it all the way to the very end. And also, please feel free to give this video a like and subscribe to the bell to get notifications when I post a new video. All of those things are insanely helpful to my channel because it really helps me to know that the work that I'm doing and the effort that I put into these is helping you. Like, that makes my absolute fucking day every time I hear from someone that said, oh, this really helped uplift me, or I was going through a hard time and, you know, there were so many synchronicities with your video. Like, it really, really touches my heart. So please feel free to give this video a like, subscribe, leave me a comment, or leave me an emoji as well with a little thumbs up or a prayer hands, and let me know you made it to the end. And I will put the information below if you'd like to donate to support my channel. Next month I will be coming out with your 2020 year ahead forecast readings, which are full length. They're very, very long, and it's going to take a lot of my time and energy. So if you've been getting something useful from my channel and you want to say thank you, you can always donate below and support the effort that I'm putting into these free videos for you guys at this time of the year. And if you'd like to book a personal 2020 reading with me, I'll put the information on that below to my website as well. Okay, Taurus, I'm sending you so much love, a big hug. Mwah, I love you, and I will talk to you next month. Bye.